Hi, this is State Representative Kurt Mosser, and we're here with our legislative report. Today we're at the 98th Annual Pennsylvania Farm Show. With me today is Amy Snover. Amy, tell us where you're from.
We're from Danville, Pennsylvania in Montour County.
And today you have some horses here with you today. What breed of horses are they?
We have Percheron draft horses here with us today that we show.
And I thought when you told me about the origin of the name and what they were originally bred for was an interesting fact. If you could just tell our listeners a little bit about that.
Sure. These horses are from the La Perche region of France, and when they were originally bred back in the 15th century, they were used to carry knights into battle. They were bred to be very large and heavy, so they could carry the weight of 400 pounds of armor and still be very agile and take out the enemy as they went.
Well, definitely some huge horses. During the farm show week, tell us a little bit about what your activities are during the farm show week.
We moved in here on Wednesday, January the 1st, so we were some of the first people in, and we began showing our horses on Friday. We did some halter and some showmanship with them there, which means they look at their conformation, how they're built and how they're put together. Through the weekend, we showed in cart classes, which is where the horse pulls a single cart, and they look at their animation and how flashy they are. And we also showed by pulling a wagon in team classes and a relay race called the feed scurry, which is sort of fun and a little wild once it gets going. Through the rest of the week, we're doing exhibitions for the public. We bring the horses out, we hitch them, we drive in the arenas, we talk to the people, we answer questions, just educate them some about the breed, and we help out with the other horse events throughout the week.
It sounds like a very full week. And before that, I'm sure you don't just load them up. There has to be some preparation coming into it before you come to an event like the farm show.
There is. We spend from about April to January driving these horses at home. They get driven 2 to 3 times a week. Before they come, we have to load enough supplies for 3 horses for 10 days, polish harness, get them fit and clipped and ready to go. Or we sort of bathe them every day down here, keep the harness polished, keep the wagons and the cart, spiffed up. And it's it's not fun driving horses when it's 20 degrees out and the wind's blowing and the snow's flying, but this is sort of worth it.
Well, speaking of that, it sure looks like a whole lot of fun to have horses, but I'm sure there's a whole lot of work that goes on behind the scenes. And in days like today, when we're coming down here today, it was -3 degrees. What do you do what's a typical day for raising horses, and what do you do in days like today where you have these extreme temperatures?
Well, the nice thing, horses are sort of bred to be outdoor creatures. They grow lots of hair in the winter. They're nice and fuzzy and warm. But you got to make sure they've got water buckets that aren't frozen. They get a little extra hay to help keep warm, burn some extra calories. If it's really windy and cold, we'll keep them inside a barn or a shed to try and keep them from getting too chilled. But usually as long as they've got enough water and enough hay, they'll take care of themselves. The hardest part for us is making sure the water pipes aren't frozen, making sure you can actually get to the barn with all the ice out there, and that keeps it interesting sometimes.
I've been there on the hog farm. We had the same problems. You always wanted to make sure that the water was flowing. Where did your involvement with horses start? Did you grow up around horses?
I got my first pony when I was 8 years old. My cousins and I put our allowance money together. We went and bought a pony, and we told our parents about it later. And they were silly enough to let us keep this pony. Since then, I grew up in 4-H and having horses in 4-H, and we began with the draft horses about 12 years ago. I'm still a 4-H leader. I still have several of my 4-Hers here helping us out this week, and they ride some of our horses, they drive our horses, and it's a neat group of people to be around here.
I met some of your 4-Hers today. They're some very nice ladies. We're going to interview them actually in a few minutes. But I was a 4-Her myself, so thank you for your leadership in a great organization. You have a couple of horses here today. Could you name? They're all Percherons. What are their names?
Well, we have Ike. Ike is our pretty much our showiest horse right now. He's 11. And we also have Irish. He's our newest one. He's only 3 years old. He's actually our tallest horse. And Duke is the horse we started out with in the draft horses. He's 16, and we keep trying to retire him, and he keeps coming out of retirement and thumping along with us, so we keep bringing him along.
Well, they're all beautiful, beautiful horses. Do you have any other horses back home?
We have a couple light horses or riding horses at home that some of my 4-Hers show. A couple quarter horses, an old Tennessee Walker who's an old trail horse that we just like to play around with anymore. And they're just out there holding up the farm right now.
Well, thank you so much for being a part of the this wonderful event, the Pennsylvania Farm Show, and all you do for our community, especially your involvement in 4-H. Thank you so much.
Thank you.